The War of Rights morale system plays a major factor in every match that is played in the game. It is the best and only indicator to show how a team is doing on the field of battle, besides when the point is being contested. By the information that is shown on the bar can dictate how the defenders or attackers are going to change how they confront the other. If, for an example, the attackers are engaged while the defenders are breaking, the attackers know they have a decent lead and will exploit that by being more aggressive, while the defending team might play more defensively. Likewise, if the defenders are up in morale, the attackers might be more cautious in their assaults, while the defenders could take more risk in stemming the onslaught. Before I get into the morale system itself, I would like to first look at the formation system for War of Rights. The morale and formation system goes hand in hand in the game, as information affects the morale system and how it informs the team on their current situation. Currently, War of Rights has 3 formation types: out of line, skirmishing, and information, each with their advantages and disadvantages. Besides, before I get into the formation types, I want to talk about how the formations are even applied. In-game, the formation system searches for groups of players that are all within a set distance of each other, which in the best references is 10 meters. Once the game finds a group of players, it will place a circle in the center of the group with the acceptable formation, either skirmishing or information. The game will continue to apply more formation circles when groups of 6 players get in range of each other rather than creating one giant circle. When players start dying, these formations start breaking down, going from information to skirmishing if there are enough people to activate it, and then to out of line if there are not enough in the circle to continue a formation. As a note, if you find yourself not in formation but by the group, you are on the edge of the formation circle. For the first type of formation, out of line is a formation players will find themselves in when they are with nobody or close to only one other player. This can affect their accuracy by the increased sway when aiming, more susceptible to being suppressed, losing stamina faster with no regeneration, and the biggest downside is the 100% loss of their ticket if they would die out of line. The second type of formation is skirmishing. This formation is applied when the players are with 2 to 4 other players or when they are crouching in a line. A player is automatically placed into skirmishing if they crouch in a group. Skirmishing reduces the sway more than out of line, less susceptible to being suppressed, less stamina loss, and slight regeneration, and only a 40% reduction to the morale loss when killed. The final type of formation that you'll find yourself in is called information. This formation is applied when a player is with 5 other players for a total of 6. The formation that has the most manageable gun sway, least susceptible to being suppressed, and has an 80% reduction to the morale loss when killed. Formation types can also affect the play style of certain ranks within the game. Currently, the game has 4 ranks: Private, Flag Bearer, NCO, and Officer. The formation system only affects the flag bearer and officer, as in they need to stay either in skirmishing or information to not get a desertion timer due to their important roles they play. If either the flag bearer or officers get out of line, they will have a desertion timer pop up, 20 seconds for the officer and 1 minute for the flag bearer. If either rank fails to get back in some formation, they will die, preventing those ranks from running away from the line for extended periods of time. There are safe zones in and around the deployment zones for both teams where these specific ranks can roam out of line without the desertion timer, but once they step off those zones, they'll get the timer. So, for these ranks to get to the front, they will need an escort. With the formations out of the way, I can now get into the morale system. Let's get into the basics. For most of the maps, the attackers always have a clear advantage over the defenders in the morale, but with the downside of having to attack. There are 5 levels of morale for each team. The first 4 are the same for both sides, starting with battle ready, then going to engaged, taking losses, and breaking in that order. When a side goes down in morale, the opposing side lets out a cheer, either the rebel yell or the Yankee huzzah as an indicator. The final stage is different and specific for each side. Once the attackers reach the final stage, they go into final push. where depending on how long it takes for the attackers to get to the capture point and how much time is left, the attackers have a reduced time to capture the point, but their losses cost 0 morale. Once the defenders reach the final stage, they go into last stand. With this stage, the defenders have 1 more life, and once they are killed, that's it. There is the possibility for attackers to bring the game into overtime. This is done by having a clear majority on the point when the game time reaches 0. As long as the attackers hold the majority on the point, the game will stay into overtime. But as soon as the defenders gain the majority on the point, the game will end and they will win. Due to the attackers having a clear majority in morale, it is only possible for the defenders to raise their morale by capturing the point if it was capped by the attackers while the defenders are either in battle ready, engaged, or taking losses. This is called counterattack. If the attackers cap the point when the defenders are breaking or on last stand, the game ends. Depending on the morale the defenders are at when the point is captured, the main time freezes and the counterattack timer will appear. And once that time expires, the original attackers win. The defenders, who are now the counterattackers, have 21 minutes if they are capped out and battle ready, 14 minutes on engaged, and 7 minutes on taking losses. Both sides can have their morale reduced during the counterattacking phase, and the final stages can be triggered also, with a small change of the counterattackers going into final push. If the counterattackers manage to get the point back before the timer ends, they will go up to the same morale as the attackers and the original timer will start up again. A counterattack can happen many times during a single round. Now, how do you lower your opposing team's morale? It is done by killing. As mentioned before, the formation that a player dies in has a potential reduction in the morale that is lost. The game first calculates how much of the morale is lost when a player is killed out of line, skirmishing, or information. The cost of the ticket after the reduction is based on the formation is dependent on how many players are on a server. The amount is scaled with how many people are on a server, so for a player that dies information on a max or 150 players on a server, their ticket costs roughly 0.75. On a server with 100 players, a ticket costs 1. On a server with 50 players, a ticket costs 2. On a server with 25 players, a ticket costs 4, and so forth. By seeing this, smaller populated servers see their matches end faster than servers that are max due to the tickets being worth more information. Each stage of the morale is just an indication of how much morale each side has left. By knowing that information losses hurts a team less, it's important for people to go for out-of-line kills, which will decrease their opponent's morale faster than information. With this newfound knowledge, go out and bring glory to your side and remember to work with your team, as in every death counts.